What is the SAT raw score to scaled score conversion chart? Imagine taking the SAT and wondering how your number of correct answers translates into the final score colleges see. Well, that's where the raw score to scaled score conversion chart comes in. It's a key part of understanding how your performance on the test turns into a score from 200 to 800 for each section. This process makes sure that scores are fair, even if some test versions are a little harder or easier than others. Let's break it down. The raw score is simply the total number of questions you answer correctly in each section. There's no penalty for wrong answers or skipped questions, so guessing can help. The scaled score is what actually matters for college applications. It adjusts your raw score based on the difficulty of that specific test, so everyone's scores are comparable. The two main sections are evidence-based reading and writing, which combine reading and writing and language and math. The reading section has up to 52 questions, while the writing and language section has up to 44 questions. Together, they make up 96 questions. The math section has up to 58 questions. After you finish the test, the raw scores are converted to scaled scores using a special table for that test form. The College Board, which makes the SAT, uses a process called equating. This process adjusts scores to account for slight differences in test difficulty across different test dates. So, if you get a raw score of 50 correct answers in math, that might convert to a scaled score of around 700 or more, depending on the test. For example, 50 correct answers in math often translate to about 700 scaled points, while 20 correct answers might be around 400. For the evidence-based reading and writing section, the raw score out of 96 is converted similarly. If you answer all questions correctly, you could score close to 800. If you get fewer correct answers, your scaled score drops accordingly. It's important to remember that these conversions are approximate because they change slightly with each test. The actual conversion table is specific to each test date and form, which helps keep scores fair. Knowing this helps students plan their studying. If you aim for a certain scaled score, you can figure out roughly how many questions you need to answer correctly. Practice tests often include these conversion charts, so you can see how your raw scores might turn into final scores. Colleges look at the scaled scores, not raw scores, so focusing on maximizing correct answers is the best way to improve your chances. In summary, the SAT raw score to scaled score conversion chart is a tool that turns your number of correct answers into a standardized score. It accounts for differences in test difficulty to make sure scores are fair and comparable. When preparing for the SAT, understanding this conversion helps you set realistic goals and interpret your practice results accurately.